I got a case.
All right, let's hear it.
5-year-old child comes in.
I'm unavailable.
So we work in some community shops where kids come in and you see whatever comes through the door. So this might be your patient. 5-year-old kid comes in choking on a hot dog. He's limp in mother's arms. Take him to the resus bay. You can't bag him. Try an LMA. You can't ventilate with an LMA. Get your laryngoscope. You see a hot dog through the cords. You can't get it out. You can't push it forward. And the kid's desaturating. What do you do?
Whew. Well, you have found one of the 2 scariest things in my mind in emergency medicine. So, pregnant women in extremis.
Absolutely.
And
The
healthy
5-year-old's
children
not pregnant.
and healthy children in extremis.
Yeah.
Are the 2 things that scare me the most, hands down, in all of medicine.
Absolutely.
I think what you're getting at is needle cric, which I have never actually done on a real patient.
Me neither.
Twice in a sim lab.
Sure.
I feel like that's where we're going. Is that where we're going?
Let's talk about needle crics.
Let's talk about it.
Roll the intro. So I was teaching our residents, we were talking about how to do a needle cric. And so we started getting equipment out to show how we do it. And we grabbed an angiocath, right? Because that's what you're going to put through. And we were looking at our angiocaths that we have in our shop. And unfortunately, when you look at these, there is nowhere to put a syringe on here while the needle is still inserted.
That's a really, really important point, because I feel like this is an easy board answer, right? You ask me, hey, you have this kid choking on a hot dog.
Needle cric.
They're desatting. Needle cric. Easy answer. But in reality, it's something that almost none of us, I will include all of you out there watching, have never done in reality on a patient. Sure. And so when you say angiocath, that depends on what your manufacturer is, right?
Absolutely.
So there's lots of different companies that make angiocaths.
Absolutely.
Some of them are your typical big needle with a catheter around it, but some of them are like this with the auto-retractable needle, which is great when you're starting IVs, but not great if you need to know exactly where you are, or if you're drawing back air or blood or something else when you're trying to place it.
When you've got a limp child that is desaturating, is not the time to be rummaging through a drawer.
Explore your equipment.
Yes, that's not the time to be rummaging through a drawer of angiocaths. So I have a solution. You ready to talk about it?
Let's hear it, yeah.
Did we roll the tape already?
We rolled it. Let's roll it again.
Let's roll the intro again.
Roll it a second time.
All
right, so walk me through this. What do I need to ask for when a kid is choking on a hot dog and desatting?
You need 3 items. 3 items. That's it. Call for 3 items, and these are items that are readily available in any emergency department. First of all, 7.0 ET2.
Now, let me stop you there. That seems big for a 5-year-old kid. Why are we getting a 7.0?
Because I don't actually care about the tube. All I care about is the connection.
Oh.
And I'll show you in a second. Secondly, obviously, to ventilate this kid, we need the ambu bag, right?
Absolutely.
And then thirdly, to get everything else that we need is contained in your typical central line triple lumen kit. So you get a triple lumen kit, 7.0 ET tube, ambu bag. We can do a needle cric.
All right,
show me. Ready to do needle cric?
Let's do it.
Let's do a needle cric. So first of all, you're going to open up your central line kit. And you don't need much out of here. We don't need any of that. I don't need that. So all you need out of the central line kit is the 3cc syringe.
Okay.
And
the angiocath.
The needle and your angiocath you can aspirate through. Additionally, there's always a packet, or usually a package of lidocaine in here. So you can use this lidocaine to have some liquid to put into your syringe. So that's all we need for the central line kit.
I assume you're saying makes it easier to see when you aspirate air into liquid.
Bubbles, to see the bubbles. So let's lay it out here. So I've got my 3cc syringe. I've got my needle. I've got my needle with the angiocath over it. Needle and syringe here. And I've got my lidocaine.
And a 7.0 ET tube.
7.0 ET tube. So first of all, I'm going to have to get gas through this angiocath. So to do that, we'll open up our 7.0 ET tube. This is all expired
Now let me ask
equipment.
you while you're opening that. Would a 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8 work? Or do I really need to tell my respiratory therapist I need a 7.0?
So I know a 7.0 will work.
Okay.
I have not tried other size tubes, but I know a 7.0 will work.
Okay.
So again, This is the tube. All I want is this piece. All I want is this piece off the end of the tube, right? And I will take my 3cc syringe, pull out the plunger, and now I take this and I shove it down in my 3cc syringe, right? You want to do this first. So this is ready to go. As soon as your needle is in, that's ready to go.
Got it.
Secondly, you want to take your lidocaine. Go ahead and fill your syringe. So again, you can see the bubbles. When you get bubbles, you want to see bubbles. You know, hold it over here so the iPhone will pick it up. All right, so I got some liquid in there. And now attach this to your angiocath and you're ready to go. So let's do needle crack.
All right, let's do it.
All right, this is my trachea. This is my child's trachea. In case you couldn't tell. So the procedure, you'll take your sheath off. I guess you could leave the air bubbles in. Just like any other procedure you do, you want to aim them low. And then as you poke through...
And I'm guessing, so you want to do the tracheal handshake,
tracheal handshake, yep.
Identify your landmarks.
Identify your landmarks.
Make sure everything is steady. And then with your other hand, you're coming at a caudal angle, about 45 degrees or so.
Yeah, about 45 degrees or so.
And you're advancing with negative pressure on the syringe, waiting until you aspirate air. Is that right?
Advancing with negative pressure on the syringe, wait till you aspirate air. As soon as you aspirate air, you loosen that angiocath and feed it in the trachea. Take your needle out. And now I've got an angiocath in the trachea. I've got to connect my BVM to that. You take your 3cc syringe with your ET tube adapter. You attach there. And now I can provide some oxygen below the vocal cords.
Absolutely. You know, this is important because I think it's something that gets missed a lot of times in patients in extremis, that you can go a really long time without ventilating.
Yes.
You can't go a long time without oxygenating.
Yes.
So even so, in the ICU, when we do brain death studies, you know, a lot of people are really flabbergasted when we have these patients that don't take a breath for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but they're not dying.
Yes.
And we're not causing any harm because they are getting 100% oxygen through that connection.
Yes.
So you don't have to ventilate for a small amount of time, as long as we can oxygenate this patient until they can get some sort of definitive airway.
Yes.
To allow them to both oxygenate and ventilate. Is that right?
By your time, absolutely. And you can tell from the size of this, I'm not going to be able to exhale through this. I'm not going to be able to ventilate through this. But again, you can oxygenate by them time. So
I love it.
Triple lumen kit, 70 ET tube, and then your ambu bag, of course.
I'm ready.
That's the needle Cric.
Hopefully not for the next shift, but I'm ready.
Hopefully never, but you want to be prepared.
You've taught me something.
All right. Run the outro.
Roll it.